Today, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about studying abroad in Japan. And I have a short presentation of about 30 minutes that I will share with you now. And we'll go through the presentation here. Okay.
Okay.
And there we go. Okay, so assuming that nobody else is joining, so I'm just going to start. Okay, so again, like I said, today we're going to talk about why you should consider studying abroad in Japan, some of the benefits for studying abroad in Japan. And my name is Xiaochen Su, that you can see here. I am from an organization called Study Abroad Research Institute, and we're going to talk a little bit about the following today. Okay, so this is the table content. First of all, I'm going to give you a short introduction on what our organization does. Okay, what is our organization? Then we're going to talk about the benefit of studying in Japan from two aspects. One is making a good living after you graduate. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the kind of salaries that you can get and whether you can get a job here once you graduate from a university here. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the cost of getting an education here, how expensive it is to get a university degree in Japan. And finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about how our organization can help you get into a university here. Okay. So starting with the first topic, I'm going to give you a brief introduction on our organization. So what is our organization, Study Abroad Research Institute? We're a small nonprofit organization that helps students from across the world study abroad in another country, right? We're based in Tokyo, Japan, okay? That's where I am right now. And currently we're working on getting more African students to universities in Japan. And because we're a nonprofit organization, we're not really charging you any money for this. Right? This is entirely for free. So that said, what exactly does our organization do? So on one hand, we reach out to students like you, talk about universities in Japan, but we also talk to universities in Japan and the Japanese government about accepting more foreign students like you. So this is basically a diagram. We talk to you, the students, we talk to the universities, and we talk to the government. Okay. Yeah, so we talk to 3 different sides to get more people to study in Japan. Okay. Yeah. And why are we doing this? Okay, why is our organization helping Africans to study in Japan? This is a little bit, it has to do with my personal background. Okay, so this is me. I was born in China, and then I moved to Japan when I was 5 years old. I moved to the US when I was 12, and I studied abroad in many different countries, in the US, in Australia, in the UK, and now I'm also studying abroad in Japan, okay, where I'm doing a PhD in sociology. And before I came back to Japan to do my PhD, I was working in Tanzania for a nonprofit organization. And when I was working in Tanzania, I applied to the university in Japan and I was accepted. Okay, so I have personal experience applying to a university in Japan from an African country. So I have some personal experience that hopefully shows you that it is possible for an African to apply to a Japanese university in Africa. A Japanese university from Africa and still get in. Okay. So that's a little bit about our organization. Now, I want to talk to you about the benefits of studying in Japan. First of all, what is the kind of salaries that you can make in the country? Okay. So here are some typical salaries for a Japanese university graduate. In 2019, the average is about $40,000. Okay. For people living in Tokyo, where I am right now, the average is higher, $50,000. And for people who work in highly demanded fields like IT consultants, they make more money. Okay, average they make about $58,000. For people who went to graduate school to get their master's or PhD, they're paid higher than average. Master's paid about 23% more, and PhD about 42% more. So at the same time, it's relatively easy to get a job here because Japan is running out of workers. So here's a graph that shows the number of jobs available for the number of people who's applying for jobs in Japan. So in 2019, you can see that there's almost 2.5 jobs available for every person in the country looking for a job. Yeah, let's move that here. Okay. Yeah, so you can see that because there are 2.5 jobs for every person, there is a shortage of workers. And in the future, this situation will only get worse because Japan's population is declining. So this is a graph of Japan's population. Right now, in 2021, it is about 130 million people living in Japan. At the end of the century, in 2100, Japan's population will go down to 85 million people. So you can see that Japan's population is shrinking, right? That means there are fewer workers. That means they need more foreign workers. And they also mean that the salary of the workers that are remaining will increase over time. Okay. Fewer workers means everybody gets paid higher. Now, I talked a little bit about the kind of salary you can get. So now you probably want to know how expensive it is to get an education here. I want to first do a comparison with other countries that I have experience with. So I went to school in the US, where the school is about $44,000 per year. So it's quite expensive. I also went to school in London in the UK, where school is about $38,000 to $51,000, depending on the course, but it's also very expensive, very similar to the US in terms of pricing. In Australia, where I went to the University of Sydney, the school is slightly cheaper, but still about $26,000 to $41,000 per year, depending on the course. So you can see that all of these courses are about the same amount of money and not very cheap. Okay. I currently study at the University of Tokyo, where the tuition is a lot lower compared to the other countries I just mentioned. It's only about $5,000 per year. Okay, so it's much cheaper to go to Japan for school than other countries I just mentioned. Okay. So you might be thinking that, okay, $5,000 is still a lot of money. So how do I pay for that? Now I want to talk a little bit about scholarships here. So every year, an organization called Japan Student Services Organization, which is a government organization to help foreign students in Japan, they publish this pamphlet for scholarships that are available to international students. And in the 2019-2020 pamphlet, I summarized some of the scholarships that are available. First of all, there are many types, okay? And I will go through some of the different types available. First is a national government scholarship, which offers you free tuition, round-trip airplane ticket from your home country, right, to come to Japan. And also on top of that, you get about $1,500 in cash that you can spend on living expenses. Next, we have more than 30 regional government scholarships. So depending on where your university is situated, you'll be eligible for one of the regional government scholarships. And these also offer free tuition, so you don't have to pay for school. And it gives you about $1,000 per month in cash in terms of living expenses, in terms of money that you can use for living expenses. And beyond the government scholarship, we also have more than 90 private foundation scholarships in this pamphlet. So these are offered by different charities or different companies in Japan for foreign students. On average, they pay about $1,900 per month in cash that you can use for your school fees and living expenses. So just in this pamphlet, you can see there are more than 130 scholarships available. But this pamphlet is not comprehensive, right? Once you are accepted into an academic program in Japan, this university that you're affiliated with will be able to provide you with even more information on different scholarships that are not available in this pamphlet. Okay. Now, aside from getting scholarships, many foreign students also earn money while they're studying abroad in Japan. This is because Japanese student visa allows students to work part-time for up to 28 hours a week. Okay, so many people work on the side while they're still in school. Some of the jobs that people get include English teaching, which pays about $39 per hour. Okay. Some people work in a store or restaurant, which pays about $14 an hour. And some people work in construction or factory or warehouses where they're paid about $28 per hour. So if you can do the math yourself, but once you work 28 hours a week at these salaries, you can save a decent amount of money that you can use for your own, maybe for your living expenses and also for your tuition. Okay, so that's how you pay for school in Japan. Now, how can our organization help you get into a school in Japan? Okay. So we're helping you. We can help you in a few different ways. One is we can help you learn the language a little bit. So many students ask this, but are there English language programs in Japanese universities? And there are some, but most of the programs available are going to be Japanese. So learning the Japanese language, not just for school, but for after you graduate and you get a job in Japan, will be very, very important. Okay. So we can point to the right resources for you to learn the language even before you decide to apply for a Japanese program. We can tell you where to apply. We work with different universities who provide us with information on different courses that are available. And we can tell you how to apply, right? The universities give us information about the application process, so we can provide that information to you. And finally, we can provide you extra support for living in Japan, right? Many of you, most of you, probably all of you have never been to Japan, so you probably don't know what is it like to live here. We can provide some practical information about how to live here, right? Any difficulties for Africans to live here, we can provide some information and provide support in case you need it once you are here in the country. Now, as I briefly mentioned just now, we have partnership with many Japanese universities. We contact their admission officers who provide us information about the programs that they have available for foreign students. And this information allows us to give you extra tips and advice to help you get into a university or program much easier if you're looking for the information yourself. So that's it. We have our website. We have our different social media that I will share later on. That could be forwarded to you later on. And then you can take a look, and our programs, information about our partner universities are all on our website. And our website also provides information on how to apply to each of them. So that will be your portal for finding information on different universities and different programs. Okay. that's it for the presentation for today. Before I end, I just want to see if any of you have any questions.
So my question is that you said that we'll be able to learn, right?
Learn.
That's what you said, right?
Learn what?
The language. Japanese, the language.
So you will be able to learn, of course, once you're in Japan. Right? Different universities have language classes for foreign students, right? Yeah, and many, I would say most foreign students who study abroad in Japan, they would go to a language school before they're enrolled into a university, so that they learn to speak some of the language before they go into a university course. So that makes their life slightly easier. Yeah. So once you apply, sorry, go ahead.
So we learn the language when we get to Japan. They put us.
Yeah.
We do online classes.
So most universities would prefer that you learn before you're enrolled. But that said, it's best that you are accepted into a university program first, and the university will be able to provide you with information on, the best courses that are available for you, whether they are in Japan or online or some other way. They have a preferred method. So this really varies from university to university.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions?
Okay, I have one and I have another question again.
Sure, go ahead.
So about the website, go to your website.
Yep.
How do we go about getting?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I think I just lost you.
Lost your the applications to be able to. Okay, I said we go to your website, right?
Yep. Sorry, I lost you again. Okay, I think I understand your question. Basically, how do we go about applying from our website, right? Yeah. So let me show you really quickly our website.
So how do we get to a Japanese university?
Okay, so let me show you our website first. Okay, so here's our website. Okay, I hope you can see our screen. Okay, this is our website. After you go to our website, you click on programs. It shows all the different universities that we work with, right? You see a list of different universities here in Japan. All of these are our partner universities.
Okay.
And under each of them, you see a little button that says how to apply. So you click on the button. It will take you to a document that shows for that particular university, what kind of programs are available and how would you go about applying it. So here, for instance, I clicked on the International University of Japan, which gives you the website, the English website. It tells you what kind of programs are available here. It tells you when the enrollment date is, how long it is, what languages. In this case, everything's offered in English, which is great. It tells you what kind of Japanese courses are available for foreign students. It tells you what kind of scholarships are available. And at the end here, it shows you how to apply, right? So you have to go to their website to create an application ID and password, and then you start the application process there. Okay. So this is an example for the International University of Japan. So for every university, there is such a page. Okay, every university have a similar page. It shows you the same. It shows you information about how to apply. So in this case, Toyo University, same thing, right? See all the same kind of information available, and also shows you how to apply, right? It links you directly to the university website, so you can go there to start the application process. So that's how you navigate this website. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. I saw another question on the chat. Okay, the question here is, how often do they provide scholarship and what are the criteria for applying? The criteria for applying to all scholarship is the same, is that you have to be first accepted into a university. Okay, you have to prove that you are a student who has been accepted into a particular program. Okay, then after you're accepted into a program, the university will help you start the scholarship application process, because the university needs to provide proof that you have been accepted into their program and you are looking for a scholarship to attend that program. Okay, so the university will start the scholarship application process, and the university will be able to tell you what is it like or how to apply for the scholarship. Okay, for every university and for every scholarship, the application process is slightly different. So there is no one standard way of applying for scholarship, but you just have to go through the university after you're accepted into the program. Okay, so I hope that answers your question there. Is there any other questions? Great. If there is no other questions, then I think we can end the meeting today. And I will send follow-up information to Miss Dr. Esther Obam, who organized this meeting for us, and she can forward any information that I send to her directly to you later, so that you can follow us and get more updated information from us later on. Okay. Oh, there's another question. Sorry, before we end, there's a question. Does the university take care of your flight fees also? Some scholarships do. The university does not. Okay, if you get a scholarship that pays for the flight fee, then the flight fee is taken care of. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, the government scholarships, especially the national government scholarship, provides free flight from your home country to Japan and from Japan back to your home country after you finish your studies. So those scholarships will provide that to you. Some scholarships give you money before you start the school process. So that means you can put that money toward paying for the flight fee. So that's also an option. Next question we have. Can I transfer the school and continue from the same year? It depends on the school, but most likely you won't be able to. You have to start from the beginning again, right? Because many Japanese universities, they don't recognize credits that are given from universities in other countries. So when you are accepting to the program, then you have to start the program from the very beginning again. Okay. Another question is, when is the national scholarships commencing? That depends again on after you get accepted into an academic program. So different scholarships starts at different time and starts at for different person at different time. So it just really depends on which program you're accepted into, which university that you're working with. So there is no standard time of when a scholarship starts and when a scholarship finishes. Okay. I hope that answers the question. Is there any other question? Okay, well, if not, then I will be in contact with Dr. Obam. Yes, sorry. Another question before we end. How long does it take to learn the Japanese language? This depends on the person, so it's very hard to say. Based on the experience of other people I know, there are people who have learned in a full-time language school for about 6 months, and they will be able to speak fairly proficient Japanese. I wouldn't say fluent, but they are definitely okay to live here on a day-to-day basis. But for some other people who are not good at learning the language, it might take them 2 years. Okay, so it really depends on the person. Yeah. Okay, if there is no other questions, then we will finish here. Sorry, one more. How is the cost of living here in Japan? Okay, the cost of living, it depends on how you live, right? So just to give you an example, for foreign students who are living in a student dormitory, the cost of living in terms of accommodation is about $200 per month. And for food, you might pay, depends on how frugal you are and what kind of food you eat, of course. It will be around the same amount, maybe $200 a month. So if you live in a way that doesn't spend much money, then you can maybe get by with about $500 to $600 per month in terms of all your expenses. Okay. Is there a WhatsApp group that you can keep in touch with us? I can give you my email, right? This is my email address that you can send email to. Just a second. Go. If you have any extra questions, please send me an email there and I can answer later on. Okay. Great. If there's no
I can't see your email. I can't see your email.
It's in the chat. If you can go to the chat,
I'm going to the chat. I can't see it. It's not here in the chat.
Hold on.
It is.
Do other people see my email in the chat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, great. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. If there's no other questions, or if you have questions later on, please send me an email and I will respond accordingly. Okay. Great. Thank you everyone for your time today.